Welcome to Sonic Month, everybody. Here just in time to celebrate the Blue Blur's 25th anniversary. Throughout time, Sonic grew from a platformer mascot who was good enough to rival Mario into a huge icon that has found a place in many people's hearts. With some people who are a little over-enthusiastic about it, but we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about the many different levels that the series created throughout Sonic's career. Some levels may be terrible, but there are always a handful of levels that are just spectacular. And I'm here to mention the 10 that click with me the most. For this list, not only will I be taking the play before put rule into account, obviously, but I'm also going to include one level per game. Also, for this list, I will be looking at levels in the 2D and 3D platformers, so anything from Sonic Riders is out of the question. I don't think I need to say anymore, so grab all the rings, chili dogs, or whatever the heck that you'll need, because we're going fast. Let's go! Well, what a way to start off this month, with a level from the original Sonic the Hedgehog. And no, I'm not picking Green Hill Zone. Thing is, I really like that level, but I do feel that there is a better one to talk about. Starlight Zone. After dealing with the utter tedium that was Labyrinth Zone, Starlight Zone was a huge breath of fresh air. It gives the player so much more freedom to go fast, but it also has some really well designed platforming to make sure you're not just holding right on the controller the whole time. It tests how good you've gotten at the game's mechanics so far, but it feels fair and not intrusive in the slightest. The reason why this zone sticks out to me over all the levels in Sonic 1 is how free I felt and how much fun I had with it. There's many parts that encourage speed, and there's loads of paths that lead to the goal ring, which is something that made me want to play the level many times. However, the reason why it's at the bottom of the list is that some of the enemy placement can be a bit obnoxious, particularly with the bombs, and the level itself just feels way too short. Ah well, it's still a great level. While I don't think Sonic CD is one of the best Sonic games out there, it still does have a lot to offer. And while the stages aren't the fastest, most are still memorable in their own way. And the level I'm choosing is probably the most well-known choice, Stardust Speedway. While most of the levels in the game focused on platforming more so than speed, Stardust Speedway felt a lot more fast-paced. I mean, with the word Speedway in the name, how could you not expect this level to be fast? Throughout each act and each time period, Stardust Speedway is incredibly diverse, giving many possibilities for both speed and giving some obstacles that you may need to avoid. It's a huge speed park that rewards you for taking as many pathways as you can. You know, there's not a whole lot I could say about this level, so... no. Please no. The more I see people bash Sonic Lost World, the more I feel bad for it. It really feels like a unique take on Sonic, taking elements from both the classic and modern titles, while adding its own spin to make a memorable adventure. Sure, some gimmicks didn't work, but there were several that did. And I believe that the level that best exemplifies this is Tropical Coast. I'm a sucker for beach levels, and Tropical Coast really shows my love for them. Since it's a beach area, the visuals are incredibly pretty and always put a smile on my face. But aside from that, the level design is really broad and rewards you for exploring every pathway there is. Act 1 is cylindrical level design, which has its own flair and offers many different things to do. Act 2, despite its gimmick of guiding fruit to giant blenders, can be really fast-paced and really fun if you know what you're doing. Act 3 is a level where you slowly rail grind, but it offers plenty of fun, beauty, and challenge. And Act 4 does offer a bit more of the previous acts, with a 2D section that's really fast-paced despite the slow nature of the other 2D sections in the game. While this zone offers a lot to do, it still feels like a level in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, keeping both its speed and platform nature, and it easily remains the highlight level of Sonic Lost World. I sure wish Sonic Lost World got more praise. This level really shows how much effort went into it. One of the improvements made in Sonic 2 was the more imaginative level design. Sure, there were fewer acts per zone, but the zones themselves were bigger and more creative, and why am I stalling? It's Chemical Plant Zone. I know the Genesis games have large amounts of speed, but I feel like Chemical Plant Zone emphasized that the most. I mean, it's possible to go so fast that you can literally outrun the camera, which may seem frightening at first, but it's fine because nothing appears out of nowhere to cripple you. This level really uses speed to its advantage because there are several times where your speed can help you reach places that would be impossible to reach otherwise. Simply put, like Stardust Speedway, Chemical Plant is a level that lets you run along freely and find your ways of reaching the goal. Admittedly, this zone isn't the hardest and there's a big RNG in terms of where the pipes can take you, but this level is just too much fun regardless. Oh yeah, and this level was brought back in Sonic Generations. Though that version of the level isn't on this list because I already have a Generations rep on here. Oh well, Chemical Plant's still a classic. Hey guys, do you love it when a town has an amusement park that has loads to offer? Yeah? Well, I think you're going to enjoy Twinkle Park. This place is basically one big amusement park under the starry night. Sure, you've got your speed and platforming, but plenty of fun rides are thrown your way, like a bumper car ride, a roller coaster, heck, even bowling. And how could you go wrong with bowling? Don't bring that up! Anyways, when you're not dealing with any amusement gimmicks, you're running and jumping across the rooftops and ground levels of the park, which is a lot of fun and looks visually beautiful. Say what you want about the presentation aging, but even by today's standards, this level looks visually beautiful. Admittedly, this level can be rather short and some of the platforming can be a bit awkward, but this level is still loads of fun and really pretty. You bet I'm gonna come back here to have fun again. It's a shame that not many people gave Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2 a chance, because it is truly a fun and epic game. It improved upon everything that Episode 1 offered, with stronger control, better presentation, and of course, better level design. There are not that many levels in Episode 2, but the levels offered were far more enjoyable and creative than Episode 1, which is especially noticeable in Sky Fortress. By the looks of things, Sky Fortress kinda looks like a discount Sky Chase zone with a discount Wing Fortress zone. However, it offers plenty more than both those zones, possibly combined. Act 1 is an auto-scrolling level that takes place entirely on the tornado. Sounds easy at first, but this act throws in many things that keep you on your toes, like Metal Sonic attacking from the background, crates that you need to break, and speed sections that require careful positioning. And while Act 1 is certainly great, it is nothing compared to Act 2 and 3. What makes Act 2 and 3 stand out so much is the many fun and challenging tasks that are thrown your way, like walls you can run on, fans that propel you upward, flame jets that can toast you, cannons that let you access other areas, and areas requiring the usage of team moves. This level throws all these obstacles at you, and if you can find ways around them and use things like cannons effectively, you can find many different ways to reach the goal post or find a power-up for help. And that's what makes this stage so fun to travel through and so satisfying to beat. It's a very challenging and open level, but it doesn't feel cheap or bare. It's a blast to play through from beginning to end, and it really shows how great levels in Sonic 4 Episode 2 can get. So people, give this game a shot. Please! Okay, yes, I am aware that Sonic 06 is one of the most hated games in the series, and I can see why. But I am one of those oddballs who enjoyed it. I will admit that it had tons of issues that could have been ironed out if more time was put into it, but regardless of that, I still believe that Crisis City is amazing! Out of every level 06 had to offer, Crisis City by and far is my favorite in overall design. Each of the 3 versions of this level gives you a high-speed thrill through a destroyed city, and it's all just epic and beautiful at the same time. There are also challenges of all kinds thrown your way, not only in the form of enemies, but in the form of tricky obstacles to maneuver over, the city itself literally crumbling apart, and a huge fire tornado that never wants to give you a break. This is a relatively challenging level, but it never goes too far to the point where it feels hair-pulling, and when you figure out how to run through it well, it feels all the more satisfying. In fact, Crisis City is so awesome that they brought it back in Sonic Generations, and it's just as awesome there. The Generations version captures everything that made the original Crisis City great, while adding its own stuff to make it feel fresh and new, and its own spin was a brilliant retake on it, being just as intense and satisfying as the original. So yeah, screw it. Since both stand out for various reasons, I'm putting both of them at the spot. While the original in 06 is more diverse and epic, while the Generations version is faster and more entertaining, both are insanely fun and insanely satisfying stages. Hey, at least I didn't put one level at one spot and the other level at another spot. That would be kind of dumb. One thing I noticed about Sonic Adventure 2's speed stages was that they were a lot more action-packed and energetic compared to other Sonic stages. Each one tried to spice things up in different ways that made them more fun to play through. And the best example of this is Sonic's final stage, Final Rush. First off, let me say that you know this stage is going to be awesome when Sonic rides into it on a rocket! Rocket! Wrong game! Anyways, after you get off the rocket, you're going to notice that most of the stage is rail grinding. And because of how rail grinding works in this game, you're going to have to balance yourself to get the most speed you can possibly can, and also position yourself to make sure you don't fall off and become a blazing meteor. And despite encouraging speed, this stage will throw in tons of alternate routes that can lead to quicker ways to get to the goal ring, which encourages you to play the stage multiple times. And when I want to play a stage multiple times, that's a sign that the stage has something good in it. And that perfectly matches Final Rush. Challenge, insane sense of speed, great setup, great music, great fun factor. This stage gets it all right. Sonic Unleashed had a lot of great stages to offer. Each one of the daytime stages had some of the greatest speed that the franchise had to offer, and the night stages had good level design and offered a good fun factor, despite a slower pace. In terms of Unleashed, there's a lot of stages I could have gone with, but I went with the coolest choice I could find. Darn it! Couldn't get away with making a bad pun. So yeah, Cool Edge. With all the great stages in Unleashed, it's pretty neat to see that the ice level was the one to stand out, but it stood out for good reason. Visually, this level is breathtaking. The ice environment looks so visually beautiful regardless if Sonic's running or not. It's definitely some of the greatest visual detail in a Sonic game. As for what you do in the stage itself, there is plenty of fun platforming and speeding across the icy landscape, and even bobsleighing down chutes and, whale. Moving on. The level design is just very fun to go through because it adds a new atmosphere and challenge that fits a Sonic level perfectly. This level may be one of the more linear ones on this list, but the very fun factor it provides made me not care about the linearity in the end. And that's what truly makes this level stand out. When ordering this list, I had to put a Sonic Colors level on here, but deciding which one ultimately came down to which one thrilled me the most, which one I admired the most, and which one I enjoyed the most. And there's one that fits the bill perfectly. Starlight Carnival. Just this level. This god-darn level. I can't even tell you how much I was in awe when I first saw this level, how much I kept on coming back to it, and how much I continue to be in awe at it. Just holy cow! This level will have you running along neon pathways through a giant parade of spaceships, and even go into some said spaceships to wreak havoc as much as you can, and it's not only epic, but outright dazzling. The exterior level design gives you plenty to do, like dodging laser fire, homing attacking metal blocks, and skydiving into a new pathway, and the interior level design works because each use of the wisps is well done, and offers new possibilities for how to proceed in the level. And even when the game throws in slower gimmicks, they're actually well done and don't break the pacing of the game in the slightest. You'll be constantly racing across constellations, getting onto some spaceships, using wisps to discover secrets, and overall, just having a great time. I don't even know what to say anymore. This level is just the total package for me. The level design is excellent, the visuals are a feast for the eyes, the challenge is just right, being not too easy, but not too hard, and it's a level that just deserves to be at the top. There's a reason this level became a track in Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, because this level is Sonic Bliss at its greatest.
I'm the Lightning Ripper, and Sonic Month is just beginning.